Hello. That was a weird start. So, I recorded a video earlier, but it was too rambly. You know, I mean, I like the yap, but that was too much. But I was kind of working through this concept that I want to talk about, because you also know me. I love to talk about the factory. And I figured, okay, that was a weird video. Let me just make another one. Oh, my backpack's full. So I did. So, well, it's this. And I wanted to talk about this idea of different kinds of factories, right? So I haven't fleshed it out fully, but I have an idea I want to start at. Why did I do that? And that idea is the idea of the different kinds of mega factories. Okay. So I'm gonna get that later. So the mega factories, I've kind of come to understand as being one factory in a region that utilizes as close to as many resources as it can, right? So it utilizes the majority of resources. And what I mean by that is some people don't care if they're using majority of their resources to make like 12 a minute wooling batteries, SC wooling batteries, right? Some people don't care if they're making 12 a minute and Yazen 8. You know, this is back in like 1.1, right? They just like, give me 6 a minute and I got this thing working and I just want to go on with my day, right? And that's fine. Or they have like a spaghetti base, right? It does like something, but you know, if you ask them, they might not be able to explain it. But a mega factory is these big old factories that people like me make that utilize a lot of the resources given to them, be it plants or in liquids, right? Like water and acid. And we make these giant bases, and as I've been perusing Reddit, and used to be Twitter, but like JP Twitter is gone for me now or something, so I don't see as much as their build, but I've seen like 3 big styles kind of emerge in the mega factory space. And to be clear, I think of these as like shreds of the mega factory, and they can overlap with each other, and they often do. But here's just me kind of, not here's just me, but here I want to talk about what I kind of see the 3 different ones. So the 3 different ones I see, I would call them compact, modular, and decentralized. Those are the 3 kinds. So there's a compact one, a decentralized one, I'm sorry, style, and a compact, modular, decentralized. Yes. So what do those mean? Working backwards. Decentralized just means you do not make all the product in a line in the same place. So for example, well, that's what it means, right? So I make plants over in Jingyu Valley, and they go into the thing and come out as shredded somewhere. Shearonite is made in Wuling City, and it comes out of the depot loader here, right? It's decentralized. The production is not all for heavy Shearonite is not all happening here in Markerstone, right? It's decentralized. The other 2 would technically be centralized, but like, duh, we're not gonna call it that. So compact would be trying to use as little space as possible, right? Ultra compact, compact. You're trying to use as little space as possible. My builds are rarely compact, but they're not wasteful with space either. But that's what a compact build is, right? You're looking at product from start to finish, or you might just have this sheer night part already done, but you're trying to save as much space as possible. And then you have modular, which is like, I have a modular design to some extent in Wuling City of trying to make a blueprint that you can replicate and place down over and over to get your desired amount of product from it, right? So let's talk about those 3. Look at some examples. So starting with what I just left off of modular, technically my forges are modular. I made an A and B, but I didn't have to. This doesn't have to be mirrored, right? It can actually just go 1, 2, 3, or you can turn it and do 1, 2, 3. It could have been the same thing, and it can fit here too, right? They all fit on here. But there's different styles, so I kind of didn't. But I had actually made a couple different versions of that, and you can see that reflected in like this one. I call these the middle ones. They have a slightly different build, but not really. But you more see it here, the double sand leaf. They had to be built different, right? They have double sand leaf. But they're not ultra compact. There's a lot of like space in here that you can use. So that's a example of modular. And then decentralized is my entire base, right? The sheer knight is going in and it's coming out somewhere else. Because I wanted to make a more decentralized base because it's easier for me to manage in my brain. Taking this factory down to chunks was way easier for me to work with. I am not very good at the long mega factories where you're doing start to finish and you have to balance out planters and seed pickers. It really hurt my brain trying to figure out 2 times sheer night and 4 times sheer night with all that. I like what I've done here a lot more. And then there's, of course, like compact, right? Trying to fit as much into one space as possible. And I would say I don't exactly build, like I said, I don't build a compact in mind, but I don't build trying to just waste space, right? I remember that guy, I don't know if y'all saw him, was like, he's the most dense, I say guy, but that person on Reddit that was like, here's the most dense factory, and a lot of it was just belts. Belts, what's the plan? I'm not taking away from what old boy said, but like, that's not dense, right? It's just funny. I didn't care too much. I just thought that was funny. So, this build, like here, this also isn't like ultra compact, right? There's a lot of space I could have used. It's compact, but it's not ultra, right? So those are like the 3 styles I think of when I've seen when it comes to base. I'm sure there's more, and they all overlap. I'm overlapping and using multiple ones in one factory, right? But I want to like show off some examples of what I've seen. So like, let's do that. So let me see who I have here. Yeah, so this was a person that got me thinking about this post right here. They're talking about how they've seen some nice blueprints from gigabases and symmetrical, right? Because I guess symmetrical technically could be one too, right? Like trying to build along the axis, 1 or 2 axes. But it got me where he said they lack flexibility, you know? And I was like, well, my factory is decentralized and it's very flexible. And I was like, well, it's not obvious flexible. Like, I think it's hard for some people to see the flexibility of my factory. But it is pretty flexible. Like, I added this entire section, I retooled this and stuff, but there's space to work with. That's part of why I like to not be as ultra compact, but why I also don't just willy-nilly use space, right? So, but I was thinking about it, like, huh, that's cool. Like, this person only does like modular blueprints, right? And he talked more about it, which I really liked. He's at fully modular, no interaction with pack or other modules, so that I can throw them anywhere I want. Self-sustain, create and use the byproducts they need by themselves, keep the required inputs to the minimum. Hassle-free, no additional wiring, piping to put them down, only connect the conduits and kickstart production, like for like planters, right? And it's done. And then compact. So remember I talked about compact? Like compact shows up even in his modular stuff. I should really say ultra compact, where ultra compact is the goal, right? But the width of the blueprint is the total width of all unloaders needed. No space cheating. It's just so I have no problems putting them down next to each other. A straight design, no weird shaped depot bus required. Everything is put along a straight bus. No out of bounds. Minimal belts, bridges, and pipe bridges, so like little belt buildings and pipe buildings, and minimal pipe belt and length, right? So that's what he tried to do. And I thought it was a really cool design. Like, I liked this. I would never use it, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. Like, and I like that they posted their thought process behind it, right? Because have you been to my YouTube? I think a lot about the factory, and I do an awful job of explaining my thought process behind it. But whatever, I'm working on it, kind of. It's just for fun. But I like this. I like this a lot. And so that got me thinking, like, what other kind of styles are there? You know, I'm like, this is not decentralized, and I think they're not. When I say the 3 styles, I think it's going to be more of like attributes of a factory, right? Instead of styles. So, do you have a symmetrical, like on the symmetry scale, where does yours fall? Where does yours fall? Asymmetrical or symmetrical? On the compactness scale, where does it fall? Spaghetti plate, or like super spread out, or ultra compact? on the centralization or resource production. Is it centralized or decentralized, right? You know, so I think maybe those are the three axes to think of them about, attributes to think about a factory, but I want to talk about it anyway, now that I think about it. I did this in the last video, I gotta make a new one, but I'm not doing that now. You're getting this one. So there was like this person's, that was really cool. And then I think, where's that one I had? Is this it? Yeah, so this is like an ultra compact with no regard, not no regard, but this is an ultra compact, right? They don't particularly care about symmetry, they don't particularly care about modularity, and they don't seem to particularly care about being decentralized or not. But it's not fully centralized because you can kind of see here. Can I open this like this? No, I can't. You can kind of see there's shear night here coming out and going in, like it's coming out of the bus, right? So that's technically that's a decentralized. I think it's going in here. Yeah, that's the loader, right? There's a loader, depot loader here, and it goes up and comes out up here, right? So it's not fully decentralized, but for the most part, it is centralized, and it's not modular, but I'm pretty sure we could find in here some kind of repeated area. Maybe, I don't know. So maybe it's like zero modularity, right? I don't think we can, given how these pipes, just looking at the pipes, I don't see where the modularity will come in at, but that's just another example, right? So then, here's another example of ultra compact, right? Now this is I should have went and found one of the old ones. I think I still find one. From like Valley 4 days, because that's when we were unsure of how much space we'd have. And there were like the ultra mega compact bases where like everything was as compact as it could be. Yeah, like so like this, right? Like this one. Like this is crazy, right? Is this Bald Falk? Yeah, this is Bald Falk, right? Trying to fit as much as you can into an area, right? This one is compact, ultra compact, and modular. So it's a lot of cool stuff like that going on. Where's the one? There's one that I remember, though, that I thought was super cool. But it's, like, really far back. Alright, I'm not going to look for it. But anyway, the point is, then we have someone like this. Like, I wanted to include this one. I don't think they have, like, the picture very easily. Yeah. But you can see they did like a Megafactory with like, it looks like mostly centralized production, but I can't really tell. Some of this is probably decentralized, and like plants are actually it's probably decentralized. The planters look like they're going into the depot bus there. Maybe we can see it in oh, here we go. So like there's some depot loaders in here, right? It looks like shear night's being made and going into the depot loader to be used somewhere else. Yeah, the powder's being made here. Right, so there's a bunch of different things going on here. There's like, this is probably SC battery production down here. This is a Cooper, this is Yazan A. Yeah, Yazan A production. What is this, current battery? Yeah, this is battery production. This is an ultra compact, right? There's a lot of space in here, but you can't really make this butt so ultra compact. So that's a little, it's whatever. Then you guys like the compact sand leaf, right? Got compact in here, and this is probably modular. I think you could just repeat this over and over and over, right? So I say all this to say that like how you think about your base can really help you with making a factory. Oh, there's one more. So I want to include this person. They also had a compact one. Yeah, like it's actually kind of modular if I'm not mistaken. Like the top, I think splits in two, even though the pipes are a little weird, so it's not exactly the same as of the first person who had a truly modular. You can place this down as much as you want. It's the same thing, right? So I say all that to say, to yap about myself, of course, but how you think about your factory is what helps you a lot, right? And retooling and rethinking how you think about your factory can make the factory system not as annoying, quite frankly. There's one more I wanted to show, and I don't remember where it's at. So, I'm not going to find it. But, with my... Oh, it was 12-minute shear night. So, there's a person who was like, oh, there's 12-minute shear night. It's kind of a hassle. That was the name of the post. And I was like, is it a hassle? Well, that's not what I thought. I thought, wait, you can make 12-minute shear night currently in phase 2? How do you do that? Like, how would you do that? Well, I got to work on trying to figure that out. Yeah, so 12-minute Jade Gourd is possible, but a hassle. And I was like, it's a hassle. I didn't know you could even make that, right? Like, how do you make that? So I thought, yeah, okay, I'm gonna try that, right? I'm pretty sure I can do that in my build. And I kind of came up with this like reactor setup because I had watched a YouTube video, I think from Peter YT, I think that's his name, and he talked about how you only needed 3 forges to make a forge this a heavy shear knight, but I misunderstood what he said. You need 3 if you're using a purification unit. So you have a 4-piece setup making a effluent line. You already have zircon going on, 2 times zircon, or some kind of zircon line going on. You can use the purification unit, get another zircon line and run it in instead of getting it from a reactor that is making it with shear knight. When I figured that out, though, I was like, hey, wait a second. Can't I just do a very simple build with my decentralized production? Like, I can make Ferium powder somewhere else. Like, well, given if you stop making 12 batteries, you don't need as much Ferium powder. This shred off can just go over here because it's making it pretty slow. This is like 15 a minute, 7 a minute, something like that. Because this is 7.5 a minute. This is 15 a minute. I believe this is also 7.5 a minute, but I'm not 100% sure. No, it should be 15. This is making it at half the rate, I'm pretty sure. But that was all pretty cool stuff, right? And so I got to work putting this together, and I kept looking at my blueprint like, wait, is it really that easy to make this? Like, it can't be that easy, right? Like, it's supposed to be harder, I thought. But it's not that it was supposed to be harder or easier. Like, this is the blueprint. I made a different one. I don't know where my other one is. But it's not that it's supposed to be harder or easier. It's that I only have to work with the ending chunk. What I didn't understand about what the YouTube video said is I didn't think of heavy shear knight as what do I use to make just heavy shear knight, right? All it really needs is shear knight, a reactor, and that's it. And the reactor needs shear knight, right? So that's 4 forges. 2 shear knights going into the forge of the sky, 1 shear knight going into the crucible, and then the 4th, so that's 3 shear knights, or 3 sky forges, right? Each one is from a sky forge, and then the one making heavy shear knight itself, that's 4. We have 8, we can make 12, right? You can just duplicate. And I kept looking at this like, it should work. Like, it should work, but like, how the freak did I make this easily? And it's not that I made it easy, it's just as decentralized. So all the shear knight is already handled somewhere else. All the making of shear knight is handled somewhere else, and I can just do Ferium powder literally anywhere else. Maybe not right now, because of this monstrosity I built, but like, you know, it could just happen right here, actually. I could just do it. I'm actually doing it, out in, I'm actually not making any extra, so I think it is 7.5 it's used over here. But anyway, because I'm making like HC batteries or some mess. So anyway, that's something that I thought was really cool. That really, and I realized like, oh man, that really helps my brain. I don't have a particularly symmetrical base. I don't have an ultra compact base. So thinking about our attributes, it's like symmetrical, not really. Like, it's on the more asymmetrical side. Compactness, I'd say I'm more on the compact side than I'm not. So like, if 5 is the middle, I'd be like 6 towards compact, like 10 is ultra compact, right? And then centralization, I'd say my decentralization is pretty high up, right? A lot of important stuff is made somewhere else and piped in or brought in. But think about how it makes sense to you. Valley 4 was really tough for me because I could not wrap my mind around how I'm going to build half of this thing and then the other half of planters on top, right? And get all the planters intertwined in here and all that. That was really hard for me. Wu Ling was really hard at the start because I didn't even understand really depot buses and like the power of being able to put a depot bus anywhere you want, right? It was not until I saw a few people do it and I was like, hey, you can just put this anywhere, right? But that really helped me. And so I would urge you to kind of look into that kind of deal. What kind of bases that make sense to your brain. Do symmetrical bases make sense? Do compact bases make sense? Do centralized bases make sense where you see all the production happen from resource to finish, right? Think about that and kind of build your base in little practice programs of NCAD. Like you can use NCAD, and you can use where is it? Is that it? Enfield tools? No, that's a different one. This one's kind of useful too. There's actually 3. There's another one. Where is it? Oh man, where is it? Okay, that's one. And Enfield tools. So this is it. Someone made this one, but I haven't used it too much. And I think it does some kind of like, I don't know, it does something. I haven't looked into it too much. And then also like the Enfield tools one, right? Oh, look at, remember this old guy? So you have options to not tear down your factory and kind of mess with it. I would highly recommend that because that also takes all the stress out of the factory building. So, you know, just thinking about your factory, thinking about what you want, and plan it out. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that helped me was planning it out, messing around with it a lot before putting it down. And then you can mess with it when it's down and see if you like the way it looks or not. I like this. I like when I stand in the middle and I can see all this symmetry going straight down the middle. So this base has symmetry to it, actually, now that I think about it. But Marker Stone doesn't, right? And then Jingu Valley has a level of symmetry to it, but not fully. So just consider that kind of stuff of what you want to do with your base. And I guess that's it. I'll just upload this and we can do the thing. Whatever the thing is. Why'd I end this so awkwardly?